guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Quarter Life Chronicles with me, Imani. I haven't recorded an episode in over a month, and I'm gonna tell you guys obviously why. So I hope you guys like this setup. I've also done this in the last episode, and I think I literally prefer it more with like the cushions in the background, BT21. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that, and a nice tapestry. I'm sitting here with a nice cup of coffee, which is actually cooled down a lot. I should have made this later than earlier, so uh, it's still good actually. So yeah, I haven't recorded an episode in a while because I was just too busy with my thesis and life, just everything. So I also wasn't really like in the right mindset to record a podcast episode. And the last time was also like during the beginning of Ramadan, so I was also mainly focusing on Ramadan as well. Yeah, and I'm wearing extensions as you guys can see because like I like my short hair, but at the same time I just really I don't know. The way it's going right now is just not it. Okay, so today's episode is going to be a different kind of start because I don't have a candle to light. Like I have this candle at the back, but it's actually like sort of burnt down. But we are gonna start with some affirmations, and they will be very fitting for this podcast episode. Okay, so here are some positive affirmations for stress, worry, and anxiety. There's a lot, so I'm just going to do only a few. I am grounded, centered, and stable. I am safe and supported. I will not worry about things I cannot control. I have the power to control my emotions. I free myself from the fear of the unknown. This feeling is temporary. I choose peace over perfection. The universe supports me in every way. All is well. So, those were the affirmations. I am going to start with a little trigger warning for this podcast episode because as you guys can basically already see it by the title, but I'm also going to be talking about some very pretty heavy topics. I'm going to be talking about suicide, self harm, depression, mental health. So, if any of these topics are too sensitive for you, then I would suggest not to continue listening to this episode. Okay, so if you've been watching me for a while, then you would know that I have a history with mental health, but you guys are probably seeing something new in the title, which is something I never talked about on my channel before, and that is that I have BPD, which stands for borderline personality disorder. Um, and basically, what that is like, I feel emotions just pretty heavier than the average person or like the normal person. And there's also a lot more that comes with BPD, which I'm going to be talking about as well. I didn't ask on my Instagram this time for an Insight with Imani topic, but this one's from a while back, which I saved because I knew that I was gonna do a episode on mental health, and I actually put it on my laptop. The one that I saved for this episode is how to get back on track after being depressed. And I think is a very nice one that goes with this episode. So I'll get to that in a bit. So first, I want to talk a little bit about BPD, therapy, regulating emotions, antidepressants, which is what I'm on right now, and dive into self care, uh, mental health, like mindfulness, and everything that comes with that. I think I should just start with my whole journey on my mental health, I think. So I'm gonna keep it quite short because obviously there was a lot and I don't want to trauma dump on you guys. So yeah, I had quite a difficult childhood. I got bullied throughout primary school and high school. I didn't have much friends, and I think the first time that I remember I struggled with depression was when I was 14 turning 15. And I also didn't have a good relationship with my family at the time, which I talked about in the second episode. I remember I also wasn't eating a lot. I was very insecure about my weight and my looks, and since I also didn't have any friends basically because I was bullied, I was quite lonely, and I also like isolated myself quite a lot. And when I was 16, I actually started self-harming, um like cutting, but the cuts weren't that deep. So right now you cannot even see it on my arms, but I actually did like scratch my arms a lot. And things actually got better after high school. So when I left high school and when I went to college, like life really got better. Like I made new friends, I did a study that I really liked, I got a boyfriend. But in my second year, like basically because of a lot of things, everything basically went downhill. And it actually got so bad up until the point that I became very suicidal. I also went back into self harming. I was overeating, actually, which also made me gain a lot of weight. And yeah, that was actually the lowest point I was ever in my life. Like, I became super depressed. And so depressed up until the point that one of my teachers actually called the doctor on me since I was too suicidal. Like, they didn't trust that I would leave like the building because I was at college at the time. I would leave the building without trying to off myself basically. So, and which actually brought me to therapy. So, I have been in therapy since 2017, so this year is going to be the 8th year. And overall, the past few years, it's been getting better. I'm doing all right. But at the same time, I really noticed that whenever something or someone would upset me a certain way, I'd feel so miserable, like very, very bad. Like my depressive thoughts would go like extreme, and up until the point I felt like I wasn't worth living anymore. And everything was falling down, like the world was ending. That's basically like how it felt for me. It's like quite hard to explain. And also, everyone around me started to notice a certain pattern, and they really felt like they had to walk on eggshells around me sometimes. And it actually got pretty bad, like when I went study abroad in Korea. That's actually when everyone started to notice that I wasn't doing okay. The therapist that I saw after my first therapist that I got via the doctor, basically, something like that. Like the Netherlands, the system is like pretty complicated to explain, but so my first therapist like actually diagnosed me with an unspecified anxiety disorder since my situation didn't fit the criteria for like PTSD or something like that. And so I basically did trauma therapy with her, like EMDR and stuff like that. And it did help, sorta. But at the same time, I still felt like shit sometimes. Like, even though I, like, got through every traumatic experience, like, I, like, treated with EMDR, um, but then that's when my other therapist, the one I'm currently going to, she actually noticed that my mental health problems wasn't purely rooted in trauma, but she saw certain patterns in my personality overall. So she actually diagnosed me with an unspecified personality disorder. So I basically just didn't fit in a certain box at a time. And I basically just didn't really look at it anymore, but she also diagnosed me with depression. So I really felt like after Korea, I definitely needed better help. Like at the beginning of 2024, I just looked into that diagnosis again, unspecified personality disorder. So I asked her, can we specify which personality disorder I may have, since I actually had my suspicions about borderline as well. So we did a test and I scored 7 out of 9 criteria for BPD. So that's when I actually got officially diagnosed with BPD. And me and my therapist, we also really discovered that if something or someone triggered a very sensitive thing, which was like rooted inside me, like certain mindsets or thoughts I had, which were very rooted from like that childhood trauma, my mind would like spiral basically, and my emotions would literally get the better of me. Like, I would feel everything so intense. She also suggested at the beginning, like even before I got officially diagnosed with BPD, to take antidepressants, but I didn't want to do that because of all the bad stuff I read about them. And so I mainly had like trauma therapy, EMDR, and a sort of cognitive behavioral therapy, but at one point I really realized like it just wasn't enough. Like I sort of felt like stuck. And after talking to my therapist, I actually decided to try medication and taking it every day. And I've also dealt with depression and anxiety for a long time. So And I've never taken meds, so I want to see like what it would be like. And honestly, it's been working really, really well for me. Like, I'm definitely not saying I'm healed or that I'm fully like recovered. Like, I still feel like I still have BPD, but I feel like much more calmer now, and just I really feel like I can think clearly now, like that my mind isn't so fully consumed like that quickly. So right now I'm taking fluoxetine. Is that how you pronounce it? And I take it every day and since December, and it has been helping me quite a lot. And even though I am going through some stressful things right now, and which would usually like really bring me down and make me overthink and feel very anxious, thanks to my meds, I'm actually feeling way better right now. So that's what's been working for me right now. I didn't want to try, my therapist also suggested like a sort of group therapy, like sort of DBT, but a bit different. But I really felt like it wouldn't like help me enough. And at the same time, my life's just so busy. I don't have time for group sessions, and it just got a bit too much with like waiting times and stuff like that. And so I have been also like reading a lot into dialectal behavioral therapy, like DBT. But I'm actually just instead of going to group therapy for it or doing it with my therapist, I just do sort of like self practice because I really feel like DBT is also like something good to practice yourself. I think it's something that people have been talking a lot more about recently and really like educating themselves on. So, DBT is basically managing overwhelming emotions, improving relationships, and reduce self destructive behaviors. And the skills are like sort of grouped into four modules, and each is like practical tools that you can like start using. So I actually mainly focus on emotion regulation. And again, if you want to know more about DBT, like emotional regulation and something like that, you can look it up if you want, because I feel like a therapist or like internet would like, or even ChatGPT would explain it a lot better than I'm doing right now. And maybe I can do a bit more in-depth episode on it, and maybe if I really like look up sources and stuff that I can give you like facts and like really educated stuff, because right now I didn't really prepare that. But with DPD, you're just basically kind of creating healthy habits, like healthy coping skills, and adjust things that like you do on a daily basis to make yourself feel good. And because like as a person with BPD, we feel everything so intense, right? Like up to the point it can literally influence our whole life. Like name any emotion, whether it be happiness, sadness, anger, either way, we feel it 10 times more intense. Like it's actually mentioned on the internet that BP that BPD is actually the most painful like mental disorder, because since we feel everything so damn intense, like that we can literally sometimes physically feel the hurt, if that makes sense. And once those emotions hit you, and you will feel it hard whether you like it or not. Like, and I'm sure for everyone it's going to be a bit different, and also how the way you express your like emotions. But in general, you know yourself the best and what triggers you, and maybe you need to do some more inner work. It's also really different per person, because some people say that DBT works very well for them and some people say it doesn't work for them at all. So yeah, I've been trying to work on that as well. But yeah, I'm definitely not an expert. Like I can definitely do better, and since I'm mainly like practicing myself, because I'm actually going to quit therapy this year. But I think DBT is also like a very nice way to give yourself some grace. I don't know, because I always feel very guilty when I express my feelings or I feel certain things that I feel like I'm not supposed to feel like that. And I feel like being mindful of these feelings also keeps me like in check as well. It's like, okay, I'm feeling like shit and it's valid. And I'm able to like give a reason for myself. Like, okay, why am I feeling like shit? Like just literally like doing a lot of reflection and thinking about it in the moment. And I think there's this thing that I read on Reddit. And I think the most important thing like when it comes to like feeling depressed or having certain emotions, it's just going through the pain and like feeling everything, even though the pain can be agonizing, we have to go through it. And definitely every time I would feel like this such intense pain, I would always ask myself like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Like, what did I do to deserve this? But I actually really turned that around and started to look at it in a different kind of light, especially because I'm religious. I really focus like on what is God trying to tell me. Like, so I'm really also telling myself, what is this situation trying to teach me? Like, are there certain things that I have to do differently? Like, is this a test? And I think if you try and ask yourself that question about a lot of things that maybe aren't going the way you wanted or something like that, they can really help a lot. And whether you ask yourself and think about it in your head, like, or you like write it down or however, like journaling. Yeah, so it really helps for me to look at it in a perspective like, what is this situation trying to teach me? Instead of thinking, why am I suffering? Like, yeah, I've also really noticed that with my BPD, the first things I start slacking with when I really feel like bad. Also, I really slack on my self-care. And then it actually makes me feel even worse. Like, so even recently, I've been really trying to put in the work and the time and effort to actually take care of myself. And sometimes I can definitely procrastinate with that, like, oh, I'll do that another time, or I'll make time for something else instead of doing something to take care of me, like endlessly scrolling on TikTok or like basically doing anything but what I was planning to do. And I think self-care is really important. Even though sometimes it might feel like, oh, but I don't deserve to look good today. I don't feel to be clean today, like something like that. Even though we are constantly being told, like, work hard every day, like, hustle life, like, it shouldn't cost yourself. It shouldn't cost your mental health or your self care. So I've been really telling myself that I am allowed to take care of myself and feel good about it, and that I want to take care of myself. And taking care of yourself can be in so many different ways. Like, it can be whether just doing your skincare or go out, meet your friends, grab a coffee. It can be found in the smallest things, I feel like. And also, definitely what helps me like keep my mind sane is having routines and like planning my weeks. I also definitely need to find balance in it because I cannot like over plan my days and weeks, because if I do that, then like I get stressed out even more. Some weeks I'm just a bit like, okay, but I just don't want to do a lot today and just focus on the tiny tasks that I have to complete, like a sort of little to-do list. Because in a way, sometimes I really feel like having a schedule, like having everything time blocked by the hour also sometimes holds me back, especially if I would like have a little bit of delay in my schedule. I would be like, oh, well, forget, my whole day is ruined. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. I think I'm just literally yapping right now. So, but if you want to know more about routines and like planning, I also talked about it in my last episode on life after graduation. Yeah, and I think what also really helps me is that you don't have to follow that routine every single day. Like, because or else it would feel like a chore rather than something you just like to do for fun. Definitely not every single day should be the same. I think it's good to have like different little routines and things you can like switch around. To kind of go back to the question that I was asked for insight with Imani, how to get back on track after having a depressive episode. And I think the answer to that would be consistency, but also consistency that like fits for you. So not like a fixed consistency that works for everyone, because I feel like everything is just different for everyone. Because you're not going to be able to put in the same work and energy every single day. I really feel like after once you get into like that depressive like mindset, or when you're feeling very low, first of all you need time to recover, to like slowly get your energy back, but also your mind has to be ready for that as well. Like getting back on track, I see it like just slowly getting up. So it's not that you necessarily have to go back to like your consistent routine. Like you can also like alternate it, like in a way that fits like getting back on track. And then once you're actually like having that energy back, you can like continue on growing, taking care of yourself, and like just do the things that you have to do, because you definitely need to have the energy and the right mindset for it in order to do the things that you need to do again. Less intense workouts, or if you would usually like clean up your entire house on a certain day, then maybe start with like a few things that needs to be done instead of doing like the whole house, then maybe like start small. I think everyone definitely needs to look into DBT. Like you don't have to have BPD to do that. I think DBT can like work for a lot of people as well. Like even certain little things of DBT can like be very helpful, I feel like, because I think it's like useful like basically for any time that you're feeling like not yourself or quite negative about yourself, feeling down or depressed or like anything. Yeah, I would really say look into DBT, dialectal behavioral therapy. I think it can give you also a lot of clarity on how your mind works and getting to know yourself. And then also not feeling that guilt or like, oh, I was being lazy today because I felt depressed. And because that's not what you are. Like, just because you had those rest days or like you weren't as productive because you were feeling low, that doesn't mean that you're not worthy. It just means you were feeling a certain type of way and it's totally normal. I think in general, I feel like a lot of people struggle with like depression or sadness in one way or another, or like anxiety. And aside from that, there are also like definitely many factors that contribute to that. And it also depends on how a person is themselves, like how do they deal with certain things. Like, so like I said, I've struggled with depression and anxiety since like I was a teenager. And I think when you get older, a lot of things change as well. But we're also just learning so much about ourselves than we did like 10 years ago. Because I feel like I'm a such a different person like compared to like 10 years ago. And also, instead of jumping into medication, especially if your therapist or like psychiatrist is suggesting that, I would also definitely look into other options as well and just see like what ways you can make your life like a bit easier and like what exactly do you need. And also depending on how severe like your depression is, if you genuinely feel like it's making your life so hard and you cannot function and do things properly, like I would literally like say go see a therapist and make sure they can help you out with at least something, and like that they can see like what explains why you're feeling like that, because we all deserve to feel good, we all deserve happiness and everything. And I really feel like if you also suffer from BPD or something similar, like it's just that feeling, like that intensity. It's so, I don't know how to describe it, but I just really would not wish that upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. It's like being in a toxic relationship with yourself. And it's just really, yeah, it's just fucking hard to deal with. So, yeah, if you are struggling with mental health or depression or like BPD or anything, I'm sending you lots of love. Don't give up. And I really want to say, make sure to reach out for help. Keep talking with your loved ones and just know that they are there for you, even though it might not always feel like that, or that you feel like that you're a burden to them. My family and my like very close circle of friends know about my BPD. They can actually like really see it and like they're really understanding. Like whenever I go through like a depressive episode or when I'm going through a very emotional mental breakdown, they know where it comes from and then they don't judge, which is so good. Yeah, because before I got on antidepressants, like my mood swings, they were like so bad. Like, just, it was just insane. Like, I could go from like being very happy and like being very fine to literally wanting to jump in front of a car like literally in 2 seconds. Yeah, and I really feel like it is important to have at least one person you open up to so they can like see your behavior and also like reassure you that your feelings are valid and that you're not invisible. And also, definitely someone who can be rational, because I really feel like when I'm too emotional, all my rational thinking flies out the window. So, also make sure that you have someone who can like keeps you like in check, but also at the same time validating your emotions. Yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. I actually really enjoyed sitting down and recording this after a month of not recording. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot better now since I've just been working on myself and everything. And I'm excited to go like back on track, and I've so many fun things that I want to do. So yeah, if you want to know more about me or just keep up with my life, then make sure to definitely check out my vlogs. And this week I'm also filming a new vlog, which will be up somewhere next week, I think. So yeah, I really I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give it a thumbs up if you like it, and of course, subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to rate the podcast and leave a review. This was it. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening or however you enjoyed it. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.